Well, let's breeze through this Stephen A. Smith topic. Matt Ishbia, you know he's the new owner of the Phoenix Suns. I think this is his second year, and he's been spending a lot of money. He got KD over there. He got Bill there. He did a lot of things, right? Spending a lot of money. And Stephen A. Smith went on First Take and had the nerve to say that Matt Ishbia is the worst owner in NBA history, right? And I hate when Stephen A. Smith says stuff like that for click, because I remember just last year he said Kawhi Leonard was the worst superstar in NBA history. And then before he said Kawhi Leonard was the worst superstar, he said Kyrie Irving was the worst superstar in NBA history. So he makes these outlandish statements that's supposed to be shock. What you laughing at, Chris? They're supposed to shock everybody by saying he's the worst in NBA history. I think that is lame. But Matt Ishbia was asked about it in a press conference, and I love his explanation or his response to it.
Shane Young with Forbes. I'm sure you, over the last couple of days, probably saw a national reporter make some, ridiculous statements about you might be being the worst team owner or worst owner in professional sports history. Just kind of wondering what your response is, if you have one.
Yeah, so Stephen A. Smith, I don't take much he says seriously. I don't think many people do, to be honest with you. The things he said about Kevin Durant, just wrong and disrespectful. The things he said about LeBron James were just disrespectful and inappropriate. And so with that being said, I don't really think Stephen A. believes what he said. I think, he's doing his thing. He's on the mic and he's doing what he's and I think he'll apologize to me, because I think it's disrespectful to put my name and aligned with anybody that was kicked out of the league or no longer part. If he wants to say for the first 2.5 years Matt Ishbia bought the team, we didn't win a championship, I think you probably said about almost every owner ever. But yeah, we had high expectations and we didn't win. We spent a lot of money and we didn't win. Yep. Yeah. Be critical of me on that. But to even say that kind of stuff, like I said, that's just, I think, like I said, he'll apologize. I think he was out of line. And I think he knows that. I don't think he really believes that. With that being said, what is a great owner? Right? My job, I'm definitely not shooting. You don't want to see me shoot or play or coach. What am I supposed to do? And my job is to provide resources so that when my GM, my front office, my coach want something, want a player that, I say yes. I don't focus on profitability. I focus on winning. I focus on the community. I focus on the fan experience. And so I focus on those things. I think that's what makes a great owner. I think if you ask people in Phoenix, they probably think I'm a great owner. The TV, all the games on TV for free, that's a big profitability hit, but we led with that. I walked the concourse and realized the concession stand prices are crazy, and we lower the prices. That's what I think a great owner would do. Investing in the Mercury, $100 million practice facility, that's kind of what I think a great owner would do. Community. We brought the WNBA All-Star Game, bringing the NBA All-Star Game. We put millions of dollars into the community, doing a lot of things. I think that's my role. Now, let's be clear. Winning is part of my job too. Right. But, there's a lot of things a great owner would do. And to even put me in that category, I thought was disrespectful. And like I said, we'll just move on from that. I don't really spend much time thinking about him.
All right. So bringing the All-Star game to Phoenix, WNBA and NBA, spending a bunch of money to try to create a big three with KD, Booker, and Bill, pulling the trigger on KD's trade. He said they just built a $100 million practice facility for the players. He said that they're putting the games on TV locally for free. So he's taking a financial hit with that. All the things that he mentioned, but his team didn't perform. And Stephen A. Smith called him the worst owner in NBA history. Do you agree that because this team only won 36 games and underachieved, that he could in 2 years be considered a worse owner than David Sterling? As a matter of fact, I just pulled up this tweet from Jay Will. He said that we've had Donald Sterling, we had Robert Sarver, who was the owner that was with Phoenix that wouldn't spend money. But Stephen A. Smith is saying Matt Ishbia might be on the verge of becoming the worst basketball owner ever for firing coaches and spending to win. Nah, that's not analysis. That's a performance. Right? Man, what's y'all thoughts on that?
I think it's bogus. I mean, just because my thing is most teams make trades and and sign players in hopes of it being something great, hopefully. But sometimes it doesn't work out. That's all. To me, that's all this was. It just, they got Bradley Beal. They already had help me out. What's the young guy's name?
Booker.
Booker. Thank you. They already had
Yeah.
Booker. They went and traded for Kevin Durant. You know, on paper, it sounds great. It just didn't work out. You know,
Right.
players was getting injured. They were lacking in certain in certain areas. Bradley Beal wasn't what they expected. Like it happens all the time. We've seen this across the NBA for many, many years since the NBA first started. We've seen it in the NFL, we've seen it in MLB, so forth. That does not make you the worst owner in the NBA or so forth. You know, in my mind, I think the worst owner outside of Donald Sterling is Josh Harris, but that might be.
What? Hold on. Oh, that's Philly.
There's a little bias.
That's Philly. I mean, nobody
Owner.
liked the Knicks owner when he was when Dolan was there. Is he gone now? Dolan's gone. I think Dolan. So, is he gone?
Still there. I think he's still the owner, right?
Let me see. Google.
I think
Well, he finally started making some good decisions though.
Oh yeah, he's still the owner.
Yeah, he's still the owner. But to me, like he just said everything that makes you a great owner. Matter of fact, you just want. Now it's fun. The fans and stuff. We want the winning. We want to see our team win. We want to see our team successful. But unfortunately, that's out of our control. Sometimes that's out of the owner's control, because if you put a team together, you're like, man, this could really work, and it's unfortunate that it doesn't. It happens. You got to try again. You got to keep trying until you get to the winning formula. They're just not there yet. They're going to get there. Clearly, he's investing a lot into this team and investing so much that he's hoping they will eventually find that winning formula. They're just not there yet. But I think
Warburg is funny. I was just about to say that we got to make up our mind. Is it Jordan, Dolan? Is it Sterling? Like, we got to make up our mind who the worst owner is.
Listen, and you can't throw you can't have a conversation about worst owners and not throw Josiah in there. That whole Brooklyn situation was a catastrophe.
Are they in the playoffs this year?
No.
You mean to tell me getting rid of Kyrie and KD didn't help them? Didn't work?
No, not at all.
It could have worked though.
That
they just messed it up.
You make your moves based off of what the media tells you to do. That's not a good owner. So Josiah is up there as well. I'm not gonna say Josiah is the worst, but he's worse than Matt Ishbia by far.
You know what was funny to me, man? When James Harden was over there in Brooklyn, and then he pretty much was like, man, they playing games over there, man. They brought me over here and promised me that all three of us was going to get a contract extension and they was going to keep us together so we can win. And I get over here and y'all over here playing games with Kyrie Irving. Y'all won't extend him. Y'all won't extend me. Y'all extended KD. Trade me, right? And the crazy thing about it is, what's the owner that was with the Rocket? Daryl Morey was over there in Philly. And he put a story out in the paper that said, I know for a fact that if it comes to free agency, James Harden is coming to Philly. So y'all need to go ahead and trade him now. And talk them into trading him for Ben Simmons.
Hold up, Mel. You're a defender of Ben Simmons, aren't you?
I am a defender of Ben Simmons when people say his back wasn't hurt and he didn't need surgery. I'm a defender of Ben Simmons. Yeah, he needed back surgery. I don't like when people say he's faking a back injury. The back injury was real, but for you to get tricked into a trade by a fake story, oh man. If James Harden go into free agency, he coming to Philly. I know that for a fact. So y'all might as well trade him to me. I would have traded him anywhere but Philly.
I'd have traded him as what's the farthest mileage away from Philly he can get.
I would have sent him back to Houston for whatever I traded to get him.
That's supposed to be like a number one rule. You do not trade into a rival.
Yeah,
that's going out the window.
So, but to talk about what Ishbia said, I mean, and to piggyback off what Britne said, you pay for potential, right? You pay for what you think will work, right? So, in the beginning of this whole thing, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, it's got to work. You add Bill, oh man, it's got to work. and it didn't. Okay, cool. But in the time of what this trio was 2 years or maybe 3, they did Booker and KD first, and then they got Bill after that first year. But this is the first year that since KD's been there that they didn't make the playoffs. So it's not entirely completely unsuccessful, right? They just didn't have enough to get over that hump. And then this year was just a bad year, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But the fact that Ishbia is still trying, they're going through. I mean, nobody wants to have. I seen the stat that in Devin Booker's time, he's had, I want to say, 7 different head coaches.
Yeah,
and the longest tenured one was Monty Williams. Every other coach was only there for a year, and that trend is continuing because Bud got fired a couple days ago. So I think he's going to have another head coach. Granted, if he stays, which he probably will, but Ishbia is okay. This didn't work. Boom. All right, we're on to the next one. We're on to the next one. I like the fact that he's still trying to find. Okay, I'm not sitting on this. We're not. No, I'm trying to figure out what works. And then they're already in talks about, hey, listen, maybe the Kevin Durant, Devin Booker experience didn't work. Maybe it's time to move on from that. What is going to get this?
What's the right move at coach for them this year? Is a new young coach like Sam Cassell? I mean, he ain't young, but a first year coach. Would you go Sam Cassell, or like who exists out there that already got coaching experience that you would give a shot to if it ain't a new guy?
Well, first, before I answer that, let me ask you this. Do you get a coach first before you start making player movement, or do you make player movement and then get the coach?
I probably
you get the coach first.
Yeah.
Okay. So now,
because if you make all the player movements and then bring me in and I'll be like, that ain't how I coach. Like I don't want to play 8 seconds or less.
Mm-hmm.
And you got an 8 seconds or less roster. Now that ain't how I like to go in the post. You get what I'm saying? So I might not be a fit. Well, shout out to Sports T. She said she loves Sam Cassell. What's up, Dom? But you get the coach first for sure.
So now that we got that, Sam Cassell, what are some other candidates available out there that you can see?
I don't know.
Who's the one that just got fired from the Nuggets? He's out there.
Mike Malone. I wouldn't mess with Mike Malone. I think Mike Malone would be a very good fit to replace Pop in San Antonio.
Okay. Yeah, Pop. Is he going?
Yeah, because I think he coached under. I think he is part of the Popovich tree. He came from Mike Brown, Mike Malone. There's a lot of people that came from that Popovich tree.
Didn't Mike Brown get fired from Sacramento?
Oh yeah, I would go Mike Brown for sure.
Mike Brown is a great coach.
Go Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Dom says Steve Nash.
Hey, you know what? They was hooping in Brooklyn. It just was the ownership was messing everything up.
No, they was not. Well,
Steve Nash just said, "Give Katie the ball to get off the way."
When Steve Nash came out in the first round and had Bruce Brown playing center, I knew this. I said, "Nah, this. Come on, dog."
Hey, Steve Nash almost got them boys a ring playing that style of basketball. Almost.
Kevin Durant almost got them boys a ring.
Oh yeah, you got to put the coach on it. You got to put the coach on it. Hey. They came up with that meme. They was like, I want somebody to love me how Steve Nash loved Kevin Durant because of that hug he gave him
Kevin Durant after he hit that 3 against Milwaukee. I felt bad for Steve Nash for getting fired, man, because he didn't deserve that. But
yeah,
you had to manage that Kyrie Irving and Joe Tsai situation a little bit better, man. And freaking what was the GM name? Sean Marks, man. Still to this day, dude, is on site.
Man, listen. But I like Mike Brown. I like Mike Brown as a potential.
I like Sam Cassell.
Mike Brown, I'm not mad at either or.
I'm a Sam Cassell.
I wouldn't touch Mike Malone because we still don't know what was going on with that issue in Denver. Who else has got recently fired? Somebody else did, I think.
Frank Vogel. You already had him though. Did they have Frank Vogel in Phoenix?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, they had
Frank. It was last year, not this past year, but the
year so they went from Monty to Frank to Bud.
They kind of running through these coaches, man.
It's crazy, and all of them are still on the contract. All 3 of them. Well, I don't think Monty Williams on the contract because he signed one with Detroit.
No, he's on the contract with Detroit. They're still paying him.
Yeah. But if it wasn't for that Detroit contract, he still would be getting paid by Phoenix.
Oh, what about old boy that got replaced by Glenn the Consultant? You think he did enough in that
No, no,
that short stint to get another look?
no. He needs a very young team that can, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, he can make some mistakes with and grow some young players. Like, you know, you're on the Nah, I wouldn't. I would go Mike Brown and Sam Cassell. That's it. But I don't know, man. But back to the Stephen A. Smith thing. I think that was cheap as hell
A terrible comment.
to say that dude was the worst. And he just looking for attention. And I like the way Matt Ishbia responded to it, man. It's like, man, I don't think nobody take him serious, man. And you kind of can't take him serious when he started making those statements. Kawhi Leonard is the worst superstar in NBA history. What does that even mean?
I don't know, but I kind of want to. Who do y'all think was the worst superstar in NBA history? Real quick.
If you're a superstar, that's an oxymoron. You can't be the worst.
Trying to be the worst superstar, like
you can't be the worst superstar. If you're a superstar, that's a good thing. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, I'm like, you're a superstar. I mean,
yeah, how can you be the worst?
So I don't.
Yeah, and his explanation why he was the worst. You know why he said he was the worst superstar?
He sit out.
What, low management?
He said because when he gets hurt, he don't do anything to continue to bring money to the franchise. He don't he's not y'all didn't hear his take on that? He said Kawhi Leonard doesn't promote the team. He doesn't promote the ball club. He's not doing you know, he's just not out there in the open. He's just not out there like that enough, you know, to justify the games he missed. Like he was saying, if you miss game, at least be out there in the public making money and running your mouth and doing interviews. Like he said that's why he was like, he has no other value other than basketball. I said, Stephen A. Smith,
he's a basketball
you got to be kidding
player.
me.
Why is it that people really have a problem? And it's the same thing with football, where these big time players, these superstar players, they only want to focus on playing the game. Like, I don't understand. I'm not out in the open with mine either. I like my private life. He likes his privacy. Let him be who he is.
So we see how he is in front of the cameras and the microphone when he
needs to stay off the camera.
So like we know like he's awkward. He doesn't want to be that guy. So
yeah, like
what do you? And then he's if he's injured, what do you want him to do? Because then if he's out in the community or he's out in the public doing all these activities, oh well, if you can do this, shouldn't you be playing? It's a lose-lose. So what are you talking about?
Man, forget rehabbing your knee, man. You need to be out there at all the all-star events, man. I need you to do some commercials, you need to be on the late night show. Come on the Stephen A. Smith show. Why you not on First Take? Like, come on, get the heck out of here. Everybody ain't no show pony, man.
He's not marketable. That's not for him he don't want that. That's for the organization and the NBA to determine who's willing to be marketable.
And listen, I think that's still capped because his jerseys are still getting sold.
From his play.
His jersey
he is on the court.
So, like that's marketability. You know what I'm saying? People are buying Kawhi Leonard jerseys. People are still wearing Kawhi Leonard jerseys. They're wearing Clippers Kawhi jerseys. They're wearing Raptors Kawhi jerseys. They're wearing San Antonio Kawhi jerseys. They're buying Kawhi Leonard New Balance. Well, I haven't personally seen anybody rock the Kawhi New Balances, but there's money to be made there because he still has multiple signature shoes. It didn't stop at the first one. He has multiple. So somebody's still buying Kawhi shoes. Saying this man is not marketable is I don't understand.
Y'all got to go back and listen to that clip, man. It was ridiculous. All right.